is up, everybody? My name is Chandler Molyneux, and I'm the creator of the Brain Juice Show. And welcome into this week's episode of Brain Fuel. And on the Brain Fuel episodes of this show, we talk about personal development, we talk about sales. We're trying to give you fuel for your brain. Now, what we're talking about today, we're going to talk about sales and personal development. Now, in my career, I've done over $13 million in sales. I'm only 29 years old, and consistently, I'm closing anywhere from 50, 60, 70. Some months I've even closed as high as 80%. I would say closing is probably one of my best skills in business, and I really have to attribute that to personal development. Now, let's define terms. What does personal development mean? All right, personal development means that you are growing your being, right? You are becoming a better individual, and you are doing that through hard work and practice. More specifically, working out, right? Working on your fitness, working on your mental, working on your spiritual, working on your relational, working on the whole entire picture to become a better human being. Now, I didn't just start sales and say, you know what, personal development is the foundation. I better do personal development if I want to be good at sales. No, that's not the finding that I found. I actually didn't come to this conclusion until a year ago. Now, giving you a little bit of backstory here, I started my online fitness business in 2015. From 2015 to 2020, I ran my online fitness business. I grew it up to $50,000 a month. And then in 2020, I started a company called the Next Level Coaching Academy. And that was a company where I helped personal trainers become full-time, where they moved their business from in-person to online. Now, we did $1 million in our first 12 months of that business. And we did $4.5 million was the highest that we did in a single year. And in total, since 2020, that business has done $13 million in total revenue. Now, don't remember exactly what I did in my fitness business, so I guess I've done more than $13 million in total revenue in my career. But where I'm going with this, and to give you some backstory, is I didn't just wake up and say, hey, I'm going to be good at sales because of personal development. No, this is a finding that I found about a year ago. But how did I get to that point? How I got to that point is through a lot of ups and a lot of downs. Let's talk about it. So, in 2015, like I mentioned before, is when I started my online fitness coaching business. Now, prior to 2015, I was into personal development. I didn't know it was called personal development, but I fell in love with working out. I loved to run, and I loved when YouTube came out. I loved to watch motivational videos. I loved to watch things that talked about mindset and challenging yourself and pushing yourself. That was a big itch that I wanted to scratch at a young age. I would say I really got into that stuff, working out and mindset, around the age of 15. So in 2015, I started my online fitness coaching business. And the reason I told you that I've been into personal development for a while is that was a part of my life when I started the business, right? I was very into reading books, listening to podcasts. Andy Frisella was a big podcast that I love to listen to, and I was very into working out. Now, from 2015 to 2018, I struggled. I really struggled. I wasn't full-time yet in my business. I was going to college. I was trying to build this business while I was in college, and I was really struggling to figure it out. Well, I invested in a couple mentors. The first mentor failed. The second mentor got me to the promised land, got me to have my first $10,000 a month as an online fitness coach. And right as I graduated college, I was full-time as an online fitness coach. Right, from 2018 to 2020, I was still crushing my personal development. My business was growing at a really high clip. I was doing great. Then in 2019, I moved down to Austin, Texas. Okay, so 2019, I moved down to Austin, Texas. I met a group of friends down here that were also online fitness coaches, and my life really exploded at this point. This is right around the time that I started that second business that I was talking about, the consulting business. And now, I'm making a lot of money, and I'm really dominating it. My life is taking off, and guess what? I'm doing a lot of personal development. I still, at this time, I knew it was called personal development, but I wasn't intentionally including a routine into my day. I was just doing it because I liked it. I loved working out, loved reading the books, loved listening to podcasts, loved expanding and growing my being. All right, business is dominating it. right? The most money I've ever made in my life, the fastest growth I've ever had in business. And that lasted up until about 2023. So I got to a point where I kind of thought I had the Midas touch. All right, I kind of thought like, man, business is easy for me. I'm crushing it. I'm making a ton of money, and I kind of let off the gas a little bit on a lot of the things that got me to that point, which was personal development, right? I still worked out, but I didn't work out as hard. I fell off really hard on my nutrition and my diet. I was eating more, I was eating crappier quality food, I was drinking more alcohol, right? And I pulled back on the things that really got me to where I was. I wasn't listening to as many podcasts, I wasn't reading as many books, I wasn't hungry in the sense of like seeking more information. I wasn't a student anymore, I wasn't trying to learn, I was just doing the same thing over and over again. I was making a ton of money, but things got stagnant. All right. So in the year 2023, my business really started to have its first set of challenges. Okay. So I was like, all right, well, this is new, navigating this, but things will, like I said, I thought I had the Midas touch. So I was like, things will turn around. Okay. 2024 was the hardest year in my business career. So I've been in business, or I've been in entrepreneurship for pretty much a decade. It's 2025 now. I started in 2015. So pretty much a decade. And 2024 was the hardest year of my business career. Just to give you the long story short, my lead generation dropped by about 70%. My revenue dropped by about 50%. And I had a slew of other things that I had to go through. I had to lay off people. I barely took anything home in 2024. I was really living off of my savings. I was reinvesting. By the end of 2024, I reinvested multiple six figures in the business to keep it afloat. And it was a travesty. It was very, very hard. Well, when you go through something like that, and it's extremely difficult, right? What do? You reflect. Now, the first thing I didn't just say, oh, I'm going through a hard time, let me reflect. No, I went through all the challenges, I went through the pain, I went through the suck. And towards the end of that, right, towards the end of this year, I did a lot of reflection. And looking back on what happened, all the way back from earlier in my career to the challenges that I just went through in 2024, right, what I noticed was there was a pattern. There was a time that I was making a lot of money. There was a time that my business didn't do very well. And there was a pattern between those two times. The times that I was dominating it, I was on top of my personal development. I was crushing my personal development, right? And some of those times I didn't even know I was doing it, right? Like I said before, it was just something I liked to do, but it was a consistent part of my life, right? And then the time that I thought, I had the Midas touch, that everything I touched turned to gold, that things were going great, right? And then things didn't go so well. That's when personal development wasn't a big part of my life, right? That's when I was going through some of those challenges. And the big takeaway that I had is that personal development is really at the foundation of business, and it's at the foundation of sales, and it's at the foundation of life. My life has been significantly better with personal development than without personal development. It's been significantly worse. Now, tying this back into sales, right? Because what I'm talking about here is that I believe personal development is the foundation for sales, right? I wanted to give you that backstory on how I came to this point, right? But that's the point that we're talking about today. Why do I think that it's the foundational level for sales, and also the foundational level for business overall, and the foundational level for life? Okay, speaking to sales specifically, sales is a transfer of belief, right? When I'm on a sales call, right, I'm on a Zoom call and I'm speaking face to face to this individual, or if I'm in person with somebody and I'm networking or I'm trying to sell somebody in person, right? Sales is a transfer of belief. Now, there's two things that you're transferring this belief on. You're transferring the belief in your program, right? So how much do you believe that your program can get them a result? That is an energy that is being transferred. Now, that's not the only energy that is being transferred. That's the only energy that most sales coaches talk about, though. Most sales coaches talk about that, hey, you just got to believe in your product and things are going to go great. Yes, but I think there's a missing component. The other thing that has to transfer, the other belief that has to transfer over to your consumer, to your customer, is your belief in yourself. Is your self-belief. Right? People will pick up on your energy. Does this person believe what they are saying? Does this person believe in themselves? Does this person have confidence? And if the answer is no, right? We're in the coaching industry. If the answer is no, and they pick up on the fact that you don't believe in yourself, guess what? Then how the heck can they trust you? How the heck can they trust you to coach them through the thing that they are struggling with? Their weight, their mindset, their relationship, their spirituality, their wealth, whatever it is. They can't. They can't. And that's why it's so critical that we have a personal development routine. Because when we are consistent with personal development, we're showing up, we're doing the workouts, right? We're pouring into our spiritual life. We're pouring into God, right? We're pouring into our relationships. We're pouring into marriage. We're pouring into our mindset, right? We're building ourselves, right? When we build ourselves, we build our self-confidence, we build our self-belief, and that is transferred, and that makes people want to buy from you. That makes closing that much easier, right? Like I mentioned before, I've had bad closing months, and those are the months that I'm not consistent with my personal development routine. And I've had amazing closing months, right? 50% is really fucking good. 50%, if you're closing 50%, you are a fucking rock star. I had some months where I was closing 80%, 80+%. Why? Because I believed in what I was doing. I was consistent as fuck. Right? And I intentionally, when I realized this, I intentionally put together a personal development routine that I check that box off. I do it 5 out of 7 days a week. 5 out of 7 days a week. Right? So Monday through Friday, I do my personal development routine. Here's what I do, and then I want to help you create your own personal development routine. Okay? Here's what I do. All right? Now, I'm not saying you need to do what I do, but I do want to communicate what I do. All right? My personal development routine, it's changed over time, right? I've done different things in the past, but this is what I'm currently doing. This is the thing that, it's had many iterations, but this is the most recent and most up-to-date iteration, which I personally think is the best iteration, but I'm sure a year from now I'll have a different iteration. Okay? Here's what I do. I wake up. All right, I wake up at 5 a.m. I do think there's power in that, right? Why? Does anyone really want to wake up at 5 a.m.? No, not really, right? So you're already building that discipline, right? You're already doing something that you don't want to do, okay? From there, I go to the gym, okay? I don't eat anything. Sure, I might drink some water, but I'm going right to the gym, okay? Get in the car, go to the gym. My gym's like 5 minutes away. It's really close, really simple, okay? So I'm working out by like 5:30. All right, now, I fucking love morning workouts. I got this from Andy Elliott. I used to not be a morning workout guy. I used to be the type of guy that was like, I'll work out in the afternoon because or I'll work out in the evening because I need more time for work during the day. Okay, and I used to work out at like 5, 6 o'clock at night, right? And I never got, like everyone was like, man, when you work out, you get such an endorphin rush. I was like, I don't get any fucking endorphin rush. And this is when I was working out at 5, 6 o'clock at night. All right, I hear Andy Elliott talk about how many, oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, all these things, all these brain chemicals that he's getting from his morning workouts. I'm like, what is this? What's the difference of doing it in the morning? So I started doing it in the morning, like I told you, at 5:30 in the morning, and holy shit, when I'm done working out, I'm on fucking fire. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. I feel like nothing can fucking stop me. I feel invincible when I do my morning workouts. Okay, so I wake up at 5, I get my workout in at 5:30. All right, when I come back from the gym, I wake up my wife, give her a kiss, right? That's not a part of the morning routine, but just letting you know. Then I go into my office, okay? When I go into my office, I am doing 10 minutes of breath work. During the breath work, I'm doing visualization, okay? I'm visualizing my goals, right? I'm visualizing different aspects of my goals. From there, I do my prayer, okay? Prayer takes 30 to 60 seconds. Then I open up the Bible, I'm reading a Bible verse, okay? Then I read 5 pages of a personal development book or a professional development book, right? I have specific books that I'm reading this year to help me improve specific skill sets, okay? So I read 5 pages of the book after I read the Bible verse, okay? From there, what I'm doing is I'm doing my daily devotional, all right? My daily devotional, Eric Thomas has a great book. I believe it's called 365 UOU Devotional. I believe that's what it's called. It's phenomenal. Every single day there's a Bible verse, and then there's a journal prompt, and you do your daily devotional, also personal development. Okay, the last thing I do is I write down my goals. I get connected to my goals. I write down the big goals that I'm trying to achieve right now. I remind myself of what we're working towards. And that's it. That's my personal development routine. I get that done before 7:30. Okay, so from 5:30, right, I wake up at 5, get to the gym at 5:30. So from 5:30 to 7:30, I am pouring into me. I am pouring into me from a mental standpoint, from a clarity standpoint, from an energy standpoint, and from an overall being standpoint, becoming somebody better. And I do that before 7:30. And I still have a ton of time to crush and dominate business for the rest of the day. And it is much better to do it that way, in my opinion, to do it in the morning opposed to doing it in the evening. I truly do believe that it sets you up for success during the day. Right? A lot of people out there, I know Alex Hormozi has this point. I love a lot of things that Alex Hormozi says. This one I personally don't agree with, and it's from my personal experience. Obviously, he's made a lot more money than me, and maybe his opinion is best for pure money making. But I'm after something different. I do want to make a lot of money, but I really want to be an example of excellence in all areas of life. I do want to be well-rounded, but I also want to make a fuck ton of money as well. Anyways, the point that he makes is that it's better to just wake up, grab your coffee, and get to work. You're going to be a hell of a lot more productive. And I've lived that life, right? I've lived that life. I've been the person that regurgitates the same point that Alex Hormozi makes and say, yeah, I'll just wake up and work, right? And that's what I did. And I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel purposeful. I didn't feel like, I just felt like I was slaving away. And maybe I'm weak. Maybe I'm a pussy, maybe I'm a bitch, I don't know. But I've also lived life this way, where I have the personal development routine in, and I do it consistently, and I feel a lot more purpose-driven, I feel a lot more purposeful, I feel a lot more energized, and I feel like I'm doing better at work. I feel like I have a lot more clarity, a lot more energy, right? And maybe you guys can see it on these videos. I just feel like I'm dominating it, and I actually am dominating it. It's not just a feeling as well. Okay, so that's my personal development routine, all right? That's why I think personal development is so crucial if you want to get better at sales, if you want to get better at closing. Now, I want to wrap this up. Maybe you don't have a personal development routine, and that's okay. You don't have to do what I do. I know I do a lot when it comes to personal development, but let's create something simple for you. I still think that you should be doing personal development 5 out of the 7 days a week. Okay, I do think that that's important. And if you want to do it 7 out of 7, fuck it, go for it. If you want to do it 6 out of 7, that's fine. I wouldn't do anything less than 5 out of the 7 days. All right, for me, I'm trying to do that 52 times in a year. So every single week, 5 out of 7. For me, I know I can be consistent with that, and I know that's going to help me grow as well. Now, creating your routine, 5 out of 7 days, right? Track it, right? Try to accomplish that 52 times in a single year. Now, the things that you should be focused on, right? I listed out 7 things that I do. I'm going to give you 4. I think you should do something physical, right? A workout, of course, right? Yes, work out. But if you can't work out, right, a walk is totally fine as well. Just something physical in the morning to move your body, all right? We also need to do something mental, all right? When I say mental, I'm not talking about like woo-woo, we gotta do this, we gotta protect ourselves, the vibes, the cozy. I'm not talking about that bullshit, all right? I'm talking about getting your mindset disciplined. I'm talking about fortifying your mind. I'm talking about making your mind fucking strong, making your mind a weapon, all right? How do we do that? For me, podcasts are huge. I tap into people that are doing things that I want to do, right? I'm listening to them. I'm feeding my brain with their information, their voice, their energy. I'm feeding it into my brain because I want to think more like them, okay? So I listen to podcasts, all right? I also do the book reading. I listen to podcasts when I work out. I don't listen to music when I work out. Maybe I'm a psychopath, but I listen to the podcasts, okay? So, number 1, you got to do something physical. Number 2, you got to do something mental. Okay, it could be reading a book, it could be listening to a podcast, motivational video, something to fortify the mind. All right, we got to do something spiritual, right? We got to connect with the higher power. And yes, I swear you're probably like, Chad, I'm not taking spiritual advice from you. That's fine. I'm not asking you to take spiritual advice from me. I know I swear. I still believe that I'm a man of God. All right? I still believe that I'm fulfilling God's purpose. I still go to church. I still do all those things. But yes, I do swear. Anyways, do something spiritual. Okay, something spiritual. If you are a Christian or you believe in a higher power, right, have some sort of daily practice where you connect with that. All right, if you're not religious, right, find other means of spirituality, right? Spirituality just means that you're attaching yourself to something greater than yourself, right? Maybe it's gratitude practice, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's breath work, maybe it's visualization, right? These are all different forms of spirituality, okay? So we got something physical, all right, we got something mental, we got something spiritual. I think you should have something relational, all right? So for me, it depends on the day, but usually I'm stopping work anywhere from 6:30 to 7. Okay, I spend the rest of my evening with my wife. I'm doing something relational. Right, I'm also reading a book with my wife right now on marriage and things like that. But I do think you should be doing something relational in this routine. Okay, I lied. There is a fifth thing that I think you should do. All right, the fifth and final thing that I think you should do is you need to reconnect with your vision, your why, and your goals, right? What were the things that I did, right? The things that I do are the visualization practice, right? I have a vision board off to the left of me. You guys can't see it. And I also write down my goals daily, right? Why do I do this? I can look over here. I can see my goals. I can see the vision. I write them down daily. I do the visualization practice, right? Because when you are connected to the goal, your brain, this is actual science, right? Your reticulating activating system. When you constantly think of something, it will find opportunity for you, right? The most common example given with the reticulating activating system is a car. You buy a brand new car, you look on the street, you're driving down the street, you see everybody's got the same car. You're like, holy crap, I didn't recognize that before. Yeah, because you just bought the car, so your reticulating activating system is thinking about the car, therefore it sees the car. Same thing with your goals. When you are thinking about your goals, the world will open up to you, right? You will see different opportunities that you didn't see before on how we can accomplish and how we can reach those goals. Okay, in summary here, if you want to improve your sales, if you want to improve your closing in 2025, you must develop a personal development routine. When you have a personal development routine, it increases your self-belief, if you're consistent with it, of course. And when you have increased self-belief, that energy transfers on your sales calls. Gotta believe in your product, gotta believe that your product can help make a difference, but you also gotta believe in yourself. And if you don't, you won't close as much as if you did. That's it. If you guys enjoyed this, you want weekly Brain Fuel episodes just like this, make sure you subscribe to the Brain Juice Show, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.